So, hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Yes, a new technical video. It's been a while, I know. So, let's just get straight into this. Today I'm going to present you a 3-stroke, horizontal, bidirectional engine, which is also self-returning in a sense. So that's a lot of things to take in. But as you can see right here, the machine actually isn't even that big. And the self-returning part actually kind of came for free, you could say. But let's just show this in action first. So as you can see, it's really easy to reverse as well. You just need to update the single piston. And the reversing stations themselves they need two obsidian, well, not to say obsidian blocks, but just unpushable blocks. You have to stop this piston from pushing right here, this sticky one, and then this one right here. So this stops the engine itself, of course, the back part, and this makes sure that the front part doesn't mess up. We'll talk about that a bit later on. Before I get into the technical details, I quickly want to show that this also works in all directions. I've tested all of those. Whoops. I'm just going to show it in this one as well. You can tell it's working fine, too. And yeah, as you want to see the rest, you have to check it out later on. But you have to check it out for yourself. Sorry. So, how does it work? Well, it's not that complicated, really. Just over here we have our typical, just butt engine or whatever you want to call it. Now, the way, I should probably talk about the 3-stroke engines. They've been kind of a common thing in the unidirectional slimestone world, apparently, which I did not really take much part in until recently with the Slam Global Tournament of Cube Hamster, which I will link in the description. Yeah, like it was about a year ago when I learned, like, hey, actually a lot of slimestone machines are, if they're compatible with 4-stroke engines, they're also compatible with 3-stroke engines. There's some pretty basic stuff you can do with 4 strokes, and you can pretty much do all of it as well with 3 strokes. So I kind of started thinking, like, hey, why don't we we should probably try to explore this area a bit more, like 3-stroke bidirectional slimestone, because it would speed things up, right? I didn't at the time. This was like back last year, August. But recently I was commissioned for another project, which I will talk about next week. And in the end, they also they would prefer if it was faster. Wasn't important, but I was like, well, let's take a look at this, and it turned out to be a lot simpler than you might expect. So yeah, this should be fairly widely applicable, I think, considering that you can hook this up to a lot of slimestone, which is compatible with the 4-stroke engine, which is a really basic one, and this will work too. As for how these 3-stroke engines work, pretty basic stuff as well. They're sometimes called hypercharged caterpillars, because over here you have your caterpillar, so in case you don't know how these work, here you have a sticky, here you have non-piston, so this one pushes, it retracts, and then this one pushes. Normally, that's all that happens. That one pushes, this one tries to push, but the one is still extended, so it doesn't do anything, and then it stops until you update it again. Now, over here we actually are hypercharging it, as they call it sometimes, which is just that you update it with another piston. So pretty much when this piston pushes, then this piston will be pushed against this part, and then the piston will notice that over here, and so on and so forth. You know what, let me just show that in slow motion. That's a lot of a better way to explain this. So yeah. Here we go. Actually, whoops, here. As you can tell, it instant pushes, because during the same tick that resonance block is also removed. However, because of the way the updater works, this works out in all directions, as you can tell. So yeah, I would say this is pretty neat. Just this is your typical hypercharged caterpillar, which you know if you work with retractions slimestone, I guess. But I'm just trying to target this at a wide audience. Now the nice thing about this is because it's a 3-stroke engine, you may have noticed something going on the other side. Notably that this caterpillar right here, we didn't mess with it. We didn't actually deactivate it, which is what you normally do in engines. You deactivate the engine in one way and you activate the engine which goes the other way. Now we just keep them both active, but pretty much because this one keeps on pushing, it will always pretty much push the caterpillar here away before it causes problems. So that's really nice. And that's of course only possible because it's a 3-stroke engine. If you have a 4-stroke engine, it will just go back and forth constantly. So yeah, that kind of made these 3-stroke engines a lot simpler. And in fact, they're a bit bigger than your typical horizontal bidirectional 4-stroke engine. However, the reversing stations are so simple that I actually don't. This may be just be useful generally speaking, even if you don't need speed. Oh yeah, also I was going to mention this part right here. There's some extenders right here. You may be wondering what I do doing there, right? It's not really part of the engine, is it? No, but it's a bit finicky to get the extenders going because I can also show this. Because of the way this works. Oh no, I'm doing it wrong. I have to update that one. There we go. So, because of the way this works right here, it's piston instant pushes, which means that when this thing isn't pushed into place, this piston right here can push again immediately. Now, whether or not that happens depends on the average order and such. In the current configuration, it doesn't, in all directions. But if you were to go with something more, let's say, straightforward, which I will show in a second, like, let's say this. So you work with one less layer. Then you will actually have problems simply because this piston will start pushing back and causing problems. This direction, of course, works fine. On the direction, however, yeah. As you can tell, instant pushes, and then this one knows, hey, I can also push. So yeah, and then this side gets stuck and it just pushes back. So you don't want to do that. Let's get this back to normal. Now, there's one last thing I want to talk about in this video, which is the self-returning functionality. I didn't really mention it, but yeah, let's just show the next one right here. So, this over here we have our reversing station, you could call it. So pretty much as long as the lever is on, it will keep on flying back and forth. When we turn it off, it will stop here the next time it comes over to the station. So, let's just run it full speed. And should go over here. You may notice there's only one obsidian block right here. Well, that's because we are going to use the self-returning mode right now. So this engine is going to stop, and because this one's always being updated, it's just going to start and it's going to go right back. So that's pretty cool. Thing is, if you have large expanders in between here, then the delay caused by the propagation, which needs to happen when it switches direction, is actually going to make the engine crash in one direction. So it's not great for that. However, miraculously, this thing seems to have a mind of its own pretty much. When that happens, I'm not going to show it right now because that's the particular flying machine. I have a flying machine with which this happens, but I don't want to show it for next week's video. Yeah, pretty much the engine just keeps on flying back and forth until all the propagation delay is fixed, and then it just continues flying. So that's really cool, I think. But yeah, I'll show that next week probably. So yeah, it's also another cool thing about this engine. And as soon as you just stop this, then the back part of the engine will also, like this engine will not be able to move anymore, and everything is fine. So yeah, I think that's covered everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope I will see you in another video.